Welcome to the Fresh and Fired Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Emily Marshall, here to help you function at your best in health, fitness, and life. Joined by my amazing co-host, the wild, wonderful Hailee Piendl. Let's get fired up.
Let's get fired up.
Yeah. And we have a guest on today. I'm pumped. I actually don't know this guest, but Hailee does. But I'm going to do the intro. So if I mess up any details, they're going to correct me after. But I am excited to welcome an incredible woman who embodies grit, leadership, and passion, both on and off the field. Her name is Bianca Santucci. Welcome. She is a she played Division I lacrosse in New York and then went on to the Italian national team, I believe, 2017 European Championship. She's a high-level high school coach as well as a certified strength coach and a very successful personal trainer, helping athletes and women build both strength and confidence, originally from BC and now I believe based in Calgary. And she's chasing big dreams. So welcome. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And I didn't even get to the part where I believe you're also writing a book. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
know.
ready to get into that.
I want to know a little. I want to know a little bit more.
Oh my gosh, quit talking.
Wait, what did you say? There's a delay, guys.
Bianca and I were actually rivals. We actually played on opposite teams. Yeah.
What?
That's how I know her. But now we all come together and we're all doing like things on the internet, which is crazy, but also amazing. So
yeah.
I thought you guys were on the same team. Okay, cool. Well, this is even spicier then.
Right?
Yes, we played against each other.
Yeah, it was super fun. I actually miss those days. I miss them.
Me too.
Were so fun.
Did you ever injure each other? That's what I want to know.
No. There was maybe like you turn into a different person when you're playing lacrosse. I'm sure that you can kind of relate to that. But off of the floor in the field, no bad blood.
No.
Were you like full rage? Like, is it like hockey where you go into like a full out fight or what? Ever? I'm just curious.
I was never in a fight. Were you in a fight?
I think a couple people tried to fight me, but I think more like, I feel like senior women's now is more of like that, like fight, aggression kind of mentality. But no, I was never like that.
We're catty now. Jeez.
I know.
That's awesome. I never played lacrosse. I played rugby. That would be my closest thing to like.
Oh wow, that's
contact
too.
Sport.
Rugby, I love that. That's a crazy sport. I don't know how people play rugby.
Yeah, it's not so. It wasn't like high level. It was just high school rugby. But yeah, it was intense. It was intense at the time.
I love it.
Okay, so yeah, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what brought you to where you are now.
Oh God, sure. Oh God, I can go on forever. Yeah, I mean, I've been an athlete since I was 5 years old. I started with soccer and then went to lacrosse when I was 8. Kind of fell in love with it. I remember when I was younger, I just kept forcing my dad to like sign me up. I'm like, Dad, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. Watched my cousins growing up playing high-level hockey and lacrosse. And then finally he let me play, and I think that was probably the best decision I ever made. It really did change my life. I've had so many opportunities come from lacrosse, college, internationally, and then hoping to be in the Olympics, depending on how my passport works out. But yeah, I mean, all I've known is how to be an athlete. Played Division I in New York, like you said. I was an attacker at Long Island University and went through the whole COVID thing when I was supposed to graduate. So ended up getting a 5th year, which I was grateful enough to do. Battled injuries, mental toughness, mental health challenges. That's kind of what my book's all about. The kind of the undercover life we live and what no one really talks about when you're playing that high level sport or when you're an athlete at that level. And then, yeah, I mean, I based myself out of BC my whole life. I grew up there. Everything I know, my family, everything is there. Moved out here 2 years ago, for multiple reasons. But I think the ultimate reason was I needed something new. I needed a fresh environment, needed to figure out who I was after college, and been out here ever since. I'm kind of 3 years over 3 years in the strength and conditioning, personal training field. I was in a very like set, secure city job and was like, this isn't for me. And I kind of was like, okay, well, I'm going to go into what I actually studied. Got my bachelor's in science, so sports science, kin, and then started my master's. Haven't finished it yet, but it's in exercise physiology. So yeah, I've been out here working at 2 locations, Connect Performance and Winsport, which is an Olympic style facility, and then started my online personal training business back in last October, and talked to Hailee about that. That's always an ongoing struggle. It's up and down. It's definitely one of those mental things that challenges you a lot. But I've learned so much along the way, and I've also learned a lot about myself. So now I'm just here. I think I'm going to be staying here. This is kind of where I'm calling home. And yeah, I work with a lot of athletes, general pop, and a lot of chronic pain clients. I suffered a really severe back injury that took me out for 2 years. So I think that's kind of where a lot of my stuff comes into play in this realm of fitness. But yeah, I'm done my rant.
I love it. I love it. How did you injure yourself, by the way? And I'm assuming that's kind of why
Oh,
you're
goodness.
taking more of a gear towards people who have some chronic injury, because I'm assuming that really did a toll on like maybe your mental health. And like I know like when I get injured, it turns into a depressive mode. So
Yeah, I mean, I've had a herniated disc since I was 15. So, I mean, back pain's been a majority of my life. Playing when I was younger, I never really was the type of person to cry, but like if my back was in pain, like you knew it was a bad day. I've had moments where I've blown out my back and ended up in the hospital to, having chiropractor appointments every day for 7 months. Like, well, 2 years ago, it's funny because nothing specifically set it off. I didn't fall, nothing. Got back into soccer after 8 years, and maybe that was a correlation, or the time in my life was a really stressful. It was a very stressful time in my life, dealing with loss and a lot of other personal things. And I think, talking to like a pain psychologist, we went through the life kind of mental health, brain, body pain thing, and I think there was just a lot of inflammation and things that my body was taking as a response to what was going on in my life. But unfortunately, it went on for 2 years. My MRIs were clear, and I think essentially what I suffered was a ligament sprain in my lower back, and it's healed, but a lot of the stuff is mostly like mental now. And it's a lot better. I went from like not being able to run, jump, play lacrosse, lift, to now I'm pretty much full function again. I do still have my days where it decides to be cranky, but I never thought I was actually gonna be able to lift again or play lacrosse. So like taking a step back and like not having my sport and the things that I love was it was really challenging. Did a lot of appointments, tried the whole cortisone injection, actually had to take a step back from competing for Canada in a World Cup for box lacrosse. So there was a lot of ups and downs in 2 years. And I think essentially specializing in back pain has been my thing. It's all I've really known for a long time. But it's also got me to branch out in a lot of different things, and my training's changed, my programming's changed. Like it's not just like your standard programming. Like I've stuck to the same thing for over a year and I've barely changed it. And now I'm going back to things that I thought I would never be able to do. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how much it can shift how you think about like the way that you train when you've come through injury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I mean, Bianca, my background is like I'm a chiropractor.
Yeah.
So you're saying like, oh, just from the side of like seeing people come into our clinic when you are in that severe back pain state is like it changes everything, because like
Yes.
you can be at the point where you can't do anything, right? Like
Yeah.
whether it's sport or for people who aren't athletes, who just their general day-to-day work and their taking care of their kids, whatever it is, right? So it's a big deal. So the fact that you're helping people with that is huge. And I think the stats are something like 85, I'm not sure exactly, but it's something like 85% of people have back pain, like have issues with back pain at some point in their life. Like it's a high percentage. So
Yeah.
like it's a real issue. And especially if for you, it's like you're doing high level sports. So then you got to get over the head game of being like, well, what if I do something, or what if somebody hits me, or I turn the wrong way on the field, and all of a sudden I'm back to square one, right? That's got to be a real
I
thing.
dealt with that a lot, and I was like, this was like a whole different level. Like I went through my mental health stuff in college, and then I dealt with this, and I was like, I've never dealt with anything like this before, and like had to mentally go through a whole nother level, and I was just like, holy shit, like, I thought I was tough, but now I'm really like, I have to be tough. And like having the mental shift of like, okay, when I was 16 or 17, I was squatting 300 pounds and hip thrusting 3 plates. And now I'm like, I'm not. And that mentality shift was really hard for me. I'm like, oh, I'm not strong because I'm not lifting this X amount of weight anymore. But in reality, that's not true. Like everyone's strength comes in different forms and different times in their life. And like, I am still considered strong, just in a different way. And mentally, like being like, okay, if my back's not feeling it today, I'm not going to go push 100+ pounds, right? And going back to like the functional things, and a lot of stuff circulated around my pelvic floor, which is something that I'm like educating myself a little bit more on, and have been doing for the last year, of seeing a pelvic floor physio, which has helped significantly in just understanding my body a little bit more, because I held so much tension, and now I'm like, okay, like breathe and move this way instead of this way, and do this instead of that. That's helped me a lot. But mentally, that was probably one of the hardest things I had to go through. I remember playing my very first game back, and I was fortunate enough to play in Australia in a tournament, or a national tournament. And I remember my first game, I was so scared of getting hit. You can tell I was playing scared. And I was like, okay, I gotta like get hit to feel this. And like at the time, it was still really sensitive. But I was like, okay, first game went back. As the tournament went on, I got better, but I was like, oh my God, like, what if I forget how to play? And then I think the second tournament I played in, and not having a lot of practice, it was way, way better. And I was just like, it's crazy how much your mind plays a role in what you do, like, and everything you do. And that's why I kind of got into like the mindset coaching as well, because my life has been controlled by 99% of my brain, and I'm just like, okay, at a certain point, like how much you gonna let your brain win, right? So I'm just like, just sometimes I'm just blown away.
Yeah, have the fear and do it anyways. I'm curious
Yeah.
too, like you coach young girls, right?
Yeah.
In lacrosse and strengthening and stuff like that. How are you bringing in like that mindset work at the young age for them? Because I'm sure like in your book, you're walking through like all the mental challenges that you went through. How are you trying to change, I guess, that younger generation?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the biggest thing I focus on with my kids is the mental aspect, because I think especially in this generation of like young kids, and the way that the world is, like it can be freaking hard out there, and I'm even like dealing with it still, and it's never really going to go away. But the mental aspect of like, kids are so hard on themselves, and they have so much pressure on them. And like when I was younger, it was even worse. And like, but even now, like the pressure to be perfect and like be liked and to get recruited and to play at a high level, like it's almost debilitating. And like I always tell them to like, first and foremost, take care of yourself, take care of your mind, take care of your body, right? That's the thing that you have for the rest of your life, right? And if that's not functioning at 100%, how the hell are you going to function? um and being transparent about the things I went through in college, because everyone looks at you and, oh my God, you played D1, you must have lived such a life. And I'm like, well, no, like I didn't live such a life. I was living with debilitating anxiety every single day. And I fell like out of love with the sport that I played for a very long time, until I came back, and they came back through coaching. So I talk about, I can't stress this enough with my athletes, like be okay with failing, and know that that's totally fine. And know that when you do fail, it's leading you one step closer to success, right? And I'm like that with myself too. It's like you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall on your ass, but you're gonna come out of it stronger, and you're gonna figure things out along the way, and you're gonna look back and be grateful that things didn't work out, or that you failed at a certain point, because look at where you're at now, right? And I may not be where I'm at or I want to be right now, but I know that I'm one step closer every day. But the mental game for my kids, they're so, you can see that fear of failure, And I always try to provide that safe space for them to feel like they can talk about how they feel or what's running through their brain, or making sure that they feel supported, but also giving them that structured criticism and feedback, because that's important. But most importantly, telling them that, teaching them how to be coachable. Because when you go to college and coach gives you a feedback or tells you what to do or tells you what you need to improve, you need to just like take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, yes, coach, and go do it. Because you go from being the best player on your team to now being a good player from with 40 other good players from their top teams, so it's like you're trying to navigate who you are, how you fit in, what's your role, to making new friends and figuring out who you are. Like it's a whole different ball game. Like it really is, and you're going to be uncomfortable, and honestly sometimes the only way to be comfortable is going through uncomfortable situations. So
Absolutely. I just noted down that time because we're going to clip that and I'm posting that on Instagram because that was so powerful. I was like getting
oh,
chills. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what time is this at?"
I love that. Yeah, I think there's so much that I've learned in such a small amount of time. Like I look back at myself in high school, I was this shy, sheltered, timid, introverted kid, and like there's parts of me that are still introverted, like I like my quiet time, but like now I'm like completely out of my shell, finding my voice, sharing my story, like not hiding myself from the world. And like it's crazy because all of that happened through college. Like I had to go through some hard shit to figure out who I was. And I'm very grateful for my family and then guiding me along the way. But when I didn't have them and it was just me in the dark times that I had to go through, that's the only way I found a way to figure out who I was. And I'm grateful for it, even in the times that I was like, holy shit, like what's going on? How am I going to survive this? I think it's prepped me to be an adult and go through the hardships that life kind of throws at you sometimes, because being an adult sucks.
Amen.
Well, it's interesting that you
Mortgages and
It
crap. The
sucks.
rent.
Paying rent and bills. Ugh, I'm over it.
Yep.
it is interesting too, like, because at every phase I think there's tiers, right? Like
Mhm.
you go, like, even it's such a journey. I think it's a journey and it's a process, and it's realizing that, like, the fact that you kind of come to these like different epiphanies or aha moments or breakthrough moments, and using those to shape like how you view yourself, how you view the world, how you interact with others, is such a good thing that you've gone through. But then also prepping your mind to be like, there's always going to be another phase, another something, like challenges are constant. And it's funny because, yeah, like adulting is hard. And then as you age, right? Like for me, I'm in my late 30s, but I look at women who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's like at all the different ages and stages. If you have kids, that throws like another like element in there, and there's so much learning to be had that I love Bianca that you are going through your own learning journey, but then also sharing that with people who are younger than you. We've talked about that, Hailee. It's like, the people who are like 5-10 years younger than you can really like relate well to be like, here, I feel you. I've totally been there. And not that you can fully understand
Mhm.
everything about someone else's experience, but there's elements that you can really apply compassion to, right? And try to help them along their journey. So it sounds like you're doing that. Great work.
Yeah, I try to. I feel like there's, like I said, transparency is like huge with me, and like I'd rather my kids like know what it's like than have this like tainted picture of like what it might be, and like know that there's gonna be days that are really freaking hard, and that they're not alone. And like, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a kid in this generation. It seems like a little, it's more social media driven. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but like at the end of the day, like just being authentic, being yourself, and like choosing you. Like I feel like I lived so much of my life based off of how other people wanted me to live and what they wanted me to do and how they wanted me to be seen. It came to a point where in my life and I'm just like, fuck, like, I don't want to be this. I don't want to do this. Like, I felt like I needed to break away from the chains and just be like, this is how I'm going to do my shit. Like, if you don't like it, then scat. But, like, I'm going to do it this way and I might fail along the way. But how the hell am I supposed to figure it out? There's no other way to figure it out than actually go through it. Yeah. And, like, I've always, my mentors, and I always love the guidance people provide me because I'm not perfect. And perfectionism is something I struggled with and needed to let go of. And, like, even now, like, I still worry about what people think and it sucks, but like there's always one thing, you know, there's always things that you're working on and like you're always a working progress, right? And like I said, it's like kids these days, it's harder for sure. But now that I've gone through all this stuff, I just want to help protect them and guide them. And, you know, when things come up, like they know, or at least have an idea how to manage it instead of being like, oh shit, like how the hell am I going to go through this? Like, I just don't want anything to be a surprise for these kids because college is a different game. And I always tell them, don't rush to grow up. Don't rush because then you get old and everything is hard.
There's a point that it shifts where it's like, I'm no longer young.
Yeah.
And now every birthday sucks.
Yes, exactly.
Don't celebrate my birthday. I don't want to hear it. So
I'm like, what? You're 15? Awesome. Embrace it, girl. Because when you get 27, 30, it's like, shit, where did my life go? And now you're like entering that next phase. Everyone's like, oh, you're still so young. I'm like, but I feel old. Like,
yeah. I'm like, I'm a grandma. Like, I genuinely go to the gym, I work, and I go to bed and read my book. That's literally what I do.
Exactly. In bed by 9:30, you know, I'm like, perfect. Like, love it. Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm super curious too about this like journey to the Olympics. Can you walk us through like how are you doing this?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I'm like, that is the ultimate goal because I was like, that's where I'm planning on retiring because unfortunately my body, as much as I love it and it's done a lot for me, I think it's come to the point where it just wants to like just focus on coaching at the next level, like nationally, and just sit back and enjoy. But in order to play for the Italian national team, my grandparents were born there. So both sets of my grandparents were born in Italy, which I was grateful enough to be grandfathered into the program. But at the Olympic level, they require you to have a passport, some sort of citizenship for the country. And so I haven't obtained that yet. And it's a process, but going through right now, I don't know. They just changed the rules. I actually might not be able to get a passport, which kind of screws with my eligibility. Something about dual citizenship, they might not allow for Italy anymore or something like that, which really sucks. So I might have to go through like a letter from the federation to get me Olympic bound. But that would give me a better opportunity to play with them in the 2020 Olympics. And basically there's just a bunch of training camps that I would have to attend and show my face at and participate in to just kind of show my interest as well. But because it's sixes, I think the team's smaller. It's like a 12 to 16 man roster. Like it's not big, so spots are very limited. But that is the ultimate goal. I think it's just like if it doesn't work out, I think it's like coming to the realization that I'm probably going to be retiring in the next year, and then proceeding with like coaching at maybe the Olympics or you know, looking at bringing box lacrosse to Italy. That is like my next kind of step. But that is really the ultimate goal now that it's inducted into the Olympics. So kind of holding myself to that standard.
Heck yeah. Dream big, girl. I love it.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's the passport thing that's the really big issue for me right now. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Hailee
the
to
next
talk.
question. Is it you or is it me? We don't know.
Who is it?
I always jump in over you. So I was like, let's give her chance.
Yeah, we do insecure. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Give her her moment. Give her her moment.
I wanted to give you a pause because I that's been playing inside of my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have told Emily that at the start of this thing.
It's fine. We love to talk over each other. It's the best. And apparently, Bianca, if you go on our YouTube channel, there is an episode where someone said we talk too much. We're like, it's a podcast channel. Come on, people.
And this was like a few months ago, so we're still not over it.
We're still not over it. We're like, don't tell
first hate comment ever. We're like, oh my gosh.
You're like,
We've made
maybe you
it.
don't talk enough, period. Like, what the hell?
Get out of here.
We've made it in the YouTube space.
Oh my
So we
gosh.
got our first hate comment, probably from someone
seriously,
we know.
we've made it. We've have like 60 followers. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while.
How long have you guys been doing the podcast for?
This
Emily,
is
you've been doing
season
it for a
4,
while.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hailee,
Oh my gosh. Did I miss our year anniversary?
no, I don't think
When was
so.
that?
We
August?
had so we did season 3 together. I did the podcast for 2 years on my own.
Okay.
And then Hailee, and I had a lot of guests on, and then Hailee was one of the guests I had on.
Okay.
And then I just felt drawn to like reach out to her and be like, do you just want to be a co-host? And then so she joined in season 3, and now we hit season 4 as of August.
Okay, that's great.
Remember?
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
did.
Yeah, because I
remember.
was actually really interested in starting a podcast. I was like, oh, I could do it by myself, but I was like, I kind of want to have like a friend do it with me.
It's
But
a
I'm
lot of
like,
work.
it is a lot of work. That's why I was kind of like, I need to like, I'm very busy right now. So I'm like, I need to find a time where like I can, focus on it. But I'm like, I just love sharing and like talking and supporting people. So I'm like, like one day that would be a fun thing to do. Because I've jumped on another podcast that my friends do, and it's been so fun. So I'm like, it could be a fun thing to do one day.
Be a guest on ours. You're more than welcome. We're glad you're here.
I love it.
Because I feel like a big thing with it is just having a resource for people, right? Like what you said, it's like there's so many different ways people can obtain information. And I
Mhm.
had a mentor share this with me at one point where he's like, listen, I wrote a book. I take my book and I put the exact same information in like podcast form on YouTube, in short reels, and it's all like the same information, but because people like to consume information in different ways, right? Like some people love sitting down with a physical book and they're like, Die Hard must be like an actual book. Some people are like Kindle. Some people are like, no, just please read it to me on Audible. So I think it's good for us to have these different platforms.
For sure.
And then also like find out what you talked about, Bianca, is like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? Because I find I love the podcast, but I mean, at least at this point in my life, I'm like, I have no interest in writing a book. But I mean, maybe that'll change. But it's okay, right? You got to pick like, this is what you want to do and go for it and help people in the way that you can. And then also balance that with what are your own goals and dreams if you're operating as an individual, but then if you have a family that you're responsible for, what are their goals and dreams and how does that all integrate together? So like for you, I'm curious to know, because right now you're doing your coaching, you've got a couple things on the go, and then you have the whole like wanting to go to the Olympics. Like what is your own, how are you making it all work with your own training schedule, but then also training other people? And like, what are your days like? It's insane.
I laugh because I'm like, fuck, what is the schedule? I'm just all over the place. Yeah, let me think here. So I work 3 jobs currently. Yeah. And
Enough
so
said.
it's like I get up, I go to work, right? I go to one location, come home, maybe I take a nap, go to the next location. And like I'm grateful I work at a gym because when I have my hour break or 2-hour break, if I'm not doing my online work, I'm just like grinding out in the gym. So I'm like, oh, like I do my workouts. I try to work out 5 to 6 days a week, which is nuts, but I try to at least get like 30 to 45 minutes if I can. And it's just been hard because I'm like, oh, like during the climate too in the winter here, I'm like, oh, I want to run, but I can't. So like now I have an indoor track, so I'm like, the whole thing has been hard to wrap my head around. There's some things I'm still delaying, even though I'm like way past the high point of my injury. But like running is still something I have a hard time wrapping my head around. I'm just like strength training, like just to keep my body healthy. But I don't know, my schedule's like, I don't even know how to describe it, non-existent. It's literally work, 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 right? Try to find time for myself in there, and then my other like life stuff. And then it's go to lacrosse to coach, come home, eat, sleep, repeat. Like my whole life right now, it really is work. And that's why I wanted to try and
Oh no. Oh no. We're back. Oh, we're back.
What happened?
You just cut out for the past 5 seconds. You can go ahead and reset.
Okay.
I got so scared.
That's why I wanted to go into like the online business, because I wanted to like live a life like with a work-life balance, like not be able to like work like crazy anymore. But I think right now with the nature of my life, like I'm so used to being busy that if I don't have anything to do, I'm like, what the fuck? And I love being in person. I love seeing people and building relationships. So it's like one of those things that even now, like you talk about passion, like I'm in a phase of my life still where I'm like, what am I meant to do? Like, I love what I do with my career, but I'm like, is this going to be good enough for the rest of my life? Like, is this sustainable? Like, and then I'm like, do I need to go back to a desk job? But I'm like, hell no, I don't. Right. It's like, it is sustainable. And the connections I've built have been incredible. I think it's just one of those things, like I talked to Hailee about, like, it takes time. Like I'm a year into my business. Like I've seen other people like really, they have the time to buckle down and like have wins within 4 to 5 months. And like I'm happy for them. And I've been lucky enough to work with people like that. But I think it comes to a point too where it's like, oh my God, like what am I doing wrong? Like, and then you start going down that rabbit hole of comparing yourself to others. So I don't know. Schedule wise, it's all over the place, but at the end of the day, like I'm doing what I love and that fulfills me. And like I can't complain, like do I love working 10-hour days sometimes? Not really, but at the end of the day, like I know there's going to come a point where I'm going to be able to sit back and relax and enjoy what I've built. Like I'd love to open up a gym someday, like a high level athlete facility, but there's all these questions of like overhead, will it be successful, will it run, will it go, like, so I'm kind of just going where life takes me right now, I guess.
Fabulous. I love that answer.
And I'm like, am I crazy? Like, am I doing shit wrong? But at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong. Like, I keep going back to this. I'd rather do a job that fulfills me, gives me purpose, and gets me excited to wake up than go back to a job that literally had me chronically stressed, had me in an eye twitch, and like, I hated my life. Like, that's not a way to live. And I try to lead by example. I really do. And I wouldn't be good if my word wasn't good either. So it's like, I try to live up to the things I do say. So.
Do you mind if I ask what you were doing before?
Yeah, so when I was like going through college, the first job was great. I worked for the city of Coquitlam and I taught lacrosse to preschoolers, which was really fun.
Oh,
and then I worked for the city of Maple Ridge in building permits, which was nothing even in the realm of what I do. But it paid really well. It had a pension. And at the time, love my parents, but it was like, pension job, you're set, you're secure. And I'm like, okay, but that is not the life for me. And that's why it's like, what? The in-person stuff, I love it. It's there. I love going. I love, I love my job. Some people are like, like just stay online. I'm like, but that's not always secure. And you can judge me for saying that, but I'd rather know kind of what my day looks like every day before I jump ship and give everything up. And I still do my online stuff and I still love it. Like I'm able to do it. And like, if people want to train online with me, I'm here. And if people want to train in person with me, I'm there, right? Like there's not a right way and there's not a wrong way. I just hate that everyone always tries to tell you what to do. And I'm just like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like I'll figure it out eventually.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Amen.
Well, and depending on how your brain works, right? Like you seem to be able to, I think this is interesting, the timing, because Hailee, you're talking about on the group call tonight, you're gonna be talking about comparison, right? Which is just, it seems like it always happens.
Everybody does it. Everyone does. If they tell you they don't, they're lying.
Yeah, but I'm so guilty of it.
Yeah, and you can't compare like what a person can handle, like based on their personality, their behavioral style, their communication style. It's like, do you need, like some people do better with focusing on one thing. I'm guilty of that. I feel like I'm similar to you. I'm constantly doing a bunch of different things, like probably too many, where you're like, okay, up at 5:45 a.m. at the gym, training a client, go right from there to here. We record the podcast. I go right to our physical clinic to onboard a staff and start training them. I go right into patient care. I take care of patients till 6 p.m. We hop on our group call. Then I go and I coach gymnastics after to like 8:45 p.m. Like it's like boom, boom, boom.
And
like
you have
constantly.
4 kids. You
I was
have
gonna
4
say,
kids,
and
by
you
the
have
way. Yeah.
kids, right?
And I have 4 kids. So like most of our days are not so like you're talking about where you're like here to there. And then I find, it's sometimes I envy. I'm like, imagine if I just had like one job and like one thing, what would that be like? Right. But then at the same time, it's like, well, we all have a different journey, and like what one person can handle in a certain phase of their life might look different in another phase of their life. Like I wasn't doing that when I was first just postpartum with my 4th child. I didn't have like 50 things going on. I had a reprieve of time where I was at home more. And so I think the principle of knowing that it's never going to stay the same, like when you embrace that life is constantly changing, it can get you through the different seasons that seem more crazy and chaotic, knowing that there's going to be times where maybe they go a little bit smoother, and then most likely they're going to get crazy again. And embracing that, I think, is huge when we kind of come back to some of the mindset game, right? Where you're like, okay, nothing lasts forever, usually, right? Like the bad times, the good times. Same thing with your injury. I think what can happen to people is it's really daunting to think about, I'm in this horrible pain, whether it be like a physical back injury like you had, or it could be that you're in a horrible relationship or something, right? Or a job that you really don't like.
Get like stuck in it. And then
Yes.
you
And
just
if
like,
you tell yourself, I can't do this forever, it gets really defeating because you're thinking about it in such a long term instead of reeling it back into the short term game. Like my husband and I had this conversation on our way back from our family trip. We were just at Disney, and we were kind of feeling on our drive home, we were both feeling this daunting feeling of what we were coming back to. Because I was just telling Hailee, like our clinic's ridiculously busy, which is a good thing. We're thankful for it, but we've also been running short staff, and the teachers are on strike here, right? So our kids are at home, and we're just trying to manage all these weird and different things. And we're both like, oh gosh, vacation was great for 4 days, but now we're gonna get like slammed in the face with all this stuff. And so we both just had this moment where we were like, one day at a time, literally, like reel it back in. Sometimes you can think out like, what's our plan for the next month, or what's our plan for the next 6 months, or we have a year goal. Right now we're just living in like, we need to one day at a time. Like, here's the calendar. You're going here. I'm going here. I'm covering this, work as a team. And that is literally how we're getting through the phase. And so, it just resonated with me when you said, things are kind of all over the place, but if we reel it back into like, how do we get through those times that are really challenge us? I think like bringing it back a little bit and going, okay, let's just look at today and tomorrow. And then
like there's always a price to pay, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to do a desk job that goes like 9 to 5, yes, you have freedom. You probably have vacation days that you can use. You can take sick days. How amazing would that be?
Never. I know.
But then and then you have the opposite where all of us are very entrepreneurial and we're like, I don't want to have a desk job. I want to do this on my own. But now you're working 12 hours a day. You love it. But then there's also that, like, this is all riding on you. And that's sort of the price that you're paying for the freedom to have what you have.
You wear multiple hats, you're doing different roles. And then, like burnout, like is a thing. Like I have been burnt out before, and like I've tried to do a better job of like not burning myself out. And like I have a hard time saying no. So I mean, I most of my anxiety does stem from like planning in the future and like thinking 1,000 steps in front of me. And like, I'm really grateful for the people that I do have in my life right now. Reminding me like to be present in the moment and do things day by day the best that you can, because that, that's all we know sometimes, right? You can't prepare for the future. You don't know what's to come. You can just only control what you have right now.
Absolutely. And like I think we forget like this is where our happiness is, and as we get older and more grandma like, I feel like
stop that.
Like your parents start to get older, you see the gray hair and it's like, wow, where did life go and why was I so stressed about it? Because everything does really work out in the end in the best way that it can.
You're making me think of when you keep bringing up these old jokes. So like I'm putting my kids to bed last night, okay? And my 7-year-old Wesley, he's really into hockey and baseball. Like he's right there, right? If you ask him what he wants to be, he's like, I'm going to play for the Toronto Blue Jays. If that doesn't work out, I'm going to play for the Edmonton Oilers. Blah, 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 right? Okay, you got this, bud. But anyways, so he says, he's like, Mom, yeah, I was looking at my Sidney Crosby book and I was like, oh, these players are, I wasn't alive when they were around, but like that goalie, he's telling me this. And then I had the realization, I'm like, well, mom's pretty, he was about to say mom's pretty old, but he like stopped himself. He's like, Mom would have been alive when these players were around.
37 is old now.
And I was like, dude, Sidney Crosby and I are the same age. He's like, what? No way. I thought he was younger than you. I'm like, what? I'm like, you've seen me lift at the gym, bud. Come on. I could beat Sidney Crosby in a handstand competition. Like, obviously my background is gymnastic, like, international gymnastics. He's like, I can't, I'm cool. Like, I was trying to prove to him that I'm cool like Sidney Crosby and that I'm not that old, but he was like not having, he's like, I don't know, Mom.
Like, it's like, okay, Mom.
You are old, FYI. I'm going to bed now.
What is this crap? I'm like, dude, I'm not old, okay? It's totally a mindset. You got to just like keep your head in the game.
It's true.
And you got to just learn how to recover better. I feel like that's huge. The recovery techniques are the key as you
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Eat, sleep, repeat.
Eat, sleep, repeat.
Hydrate.
So we are gonna wrap it up here. So we will put your contact in the show notes so that if anyone listening wants to reach out to Bianca and learn from her or inquire about her book or any of the other wonderful things she has going on, follow her journey, we will have it in the notes. Is there anything else? Is there like a mic drop you want to send us off on, Bianca?
Oh, I don't know.
Quick question. When is your book like tentatively going to come out? Are you gonna like wait till you do the whole like Olympic thing and be like, that's like chapter 20?
That would be great. But like that's like still up in the air. Like I don't even know if that's guaranteed at this point now that I found out about that passport stuff. But I mean, like most of it's kind of like the structure's put together. There's a couple things I have to do, but I mean, I'd love to have it out like first draft before the end of the year, and then hopefully the new year have it ready to go. I think because I've been so busy, it's been hard to like. It's there. It's just like I've been putting it off, and I can do that sometimes. So I'm just like, just freaking do it and like get it done. So yeah, hopefully soon.
Heck yeah. Awesome. I'll be your first customer.
Perfect.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you guys.
Make sure that you share this episode with a friend, rate it, review it, find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. And in the meantime, be free, feel fresh, and live on fire.